Now let's talk about Myanmar. The crisis there is snowballing. The conflict is getting bigger. The military rulers are on the back foot. Today, they issued a new order, and it has raised eyebrows, this new order. Civilians are being called up to serve in the Myanmar army. All government staffers have received instructions, and this includes former servicemen. The military says they could be called up at any time to fight the rebels. This is basically conscription. But the military has phrased the orders rather vaguely. They've called for the formation of new units. Units made up of government staff and former military personnel. The junta says if there is an emergency, these units will be called to serve. And how do they define an emergency? Well, they haven't. I have a statement from the junta. This is what it says, and I'm quoting, "If necessary, such a unit might be required to go out and serve for natural disasters and security." Natural disasters and security. Later, a government official was specifically asked what this meant. What was the purpose of these new units? And this is what he said, I'm quoting again, "This is the plan to help in the event of an emergency." So basically no clarity. Now reports say the military is downplaying its losses, but they're becoming too big to hide. More troops have surrendered to the rebels. This came yesterday. An entire battalion surrendered to the rebels in Myanmar. It happened in the state of Shan, in Myanmar's northeast. Shan is the center of the rebels' offensive. The junta has suffered huge losses there. Yesterday, they released a statement. The rebels released a statement. They said 261 people had surrendered in Shan. 127 of them were soldiers. The rest were their family members. The rebels have released a photograph. It shows them talking to these families. We also have new videos. This one came from Loiko. It's a town in eastern Myanmar. It witnessed an encounter. The rebels clearly had the upper hand here.
"We are not doing anything to you. My name is Mawe, Vice Commander-in-Chief of the Catering Nationalities Defense Force. We are ready to shoot you right now, but we won't do that. You raise the white flag and walk out from the gate. Nothing will happen to you. I guarantee your life."
And what happened next? Troops from Myanmar's military ended up surrendering. So the rebels have the momentum. They could be planning a more ambitious operation. Their next target could be Naypyidaw, the capital of Myanmar. A campaign has been launched. It is called Road to Naypyidaw. And who is driving the campaign? Some politicians from pro-democracy parties. We cannot confirm their identities, but we can tell you that they have links with some insurgent groups. So this is where things stand. Rebels continue to attack the military. The junta is unable to contain them. They're suffering losses, and they probably need reinforcements because more troops are fleeing to India. This evening, we received fresh inputs. More soldiers from Myanmar entered India, at least 29 more. They entered Mizoram and were caught. Earlier this week, another 40 soldiers from Myanmar came to India. New Delhi sent them back. But evidently, there is a steady influx now. This violence is displacing people. More than 2 million people, locals in Myanmar, have already been displaced, more than 2 million. India is now raising concerns.
We are deeply concerned with such incidents close to our border. Our position on the ongoing situation in Myanmar is very clear. We want cessation of the violence and resolution of the situation through constructive dialogue.
India wants the violence to end, but it seems the rebels want to settle this on the battlefield. They're intensifying operations and weakening the junta's grip on power, one military outpost at a time. This rebellion has become too big to ignore, and its impact is being felt across the region.